GOP's great implosion of '09 reached its zenith during the summer. Birthers and death panelers and teabaggers did their best to wreak havoc. But perhaps the most important implosion happened in June among the Republican leadership. That's when the family values crowd watched not one but two of its national leaders disgraced by extramarital affairs. Senator John Ensign was sleeping with his campaign treasurer, who happened also just to be the wife of his top aide in D.C., and the senator got his whole family involved in this by getting his mom and dad to pay his mistress tens of thousands of dollars in so-called well-being money. Now, that mess only gets honorable mention in our whack job jamboree because he was out-sleazed by Republican Governor Mark Sanford of South Carolina. Mr. Sanford went on a little trip over Father's Day weekend. He told the wife and kids and his staff that he was going hiking on the old Appalachian Trail to clear his mind. But when he got back, it turned out the only thing he had left to clear was his conscience. Maybe he had wished he had cleared his inbox as well, because on the very day of his painful confession came the torrent of very painfully embarrassing love letters. Good evening from New York. So, Governor, how was your trip? Our fifth story in the countdown, as we wondered aloud on this news hour last night, what could be so bad that the cover story, which had the governor of South Carolina hiking the Appalachian Trail on National Hike Naked Day, would be preferable to reality? Rather a lot, really. About a married Republican father of four coming clean at a news conference about his affair with a woman in Argentina, but only after he had been caught this morning arriving back in Atlanta on the flight from Buenos Aires, nowhere near the Appalachian Trail. Did I mention there are late-breaking emails from the governor to his mistress?
So the bottom line is this. I've been unfaithful to my wife. I developed a relationship with which started as a dear, dear friend from Argentina. It began very innocently, as I suspect many of these things do, in just a casual email back and forth.
How about them emails? Governor's Appalachian Trail, which evidently led all the way to Argentina, merely a flash for good old electronic mail obtained by the state newspaper in Colombia last December. In one, the governor describes his upcoming itinerary to his paramour, Maria, whose full name has been redacted, even though her email had her full name and address on it. But the governor is far more engaged in a different kind of description. Governor Sanford, Thursday, July 10th, 2008, quoting, "As I think I had told you, taking the family to China, Tibet, Nepal, India, Thailand, and then back through Hong Kong on whirlwind tour. The following weekend have been asked to speak out in Aspen, Colorado with McCain, which has kicked up the whole VP talk all over again in the press back home. You have a particular grace and calm that I adore. You have a level of sophistication that's so fitting with your beauty. I could digress and say that you have the ability to give magnificent, gentle kisses, or that I love your tan lines, or that I love the curve of your hips, the erotic beauty of you holding yourself, or two magnificent parts of yourself in the faded glow of the night's light." But hey, that would be going into sexual details. 3, and finally, well, all the things above are all too true. At the same time, we are in a hopelessly, or as you put it, impossible, or how about combine and simply say hopelessly impossible situation of love. How in the world has this lightning, misspelled, strike snuck up on us? I am still not quite sure. As I have said to you before, I certainly had a special feeling about you from the first time we met, but these feelings were contained, and I genuinely enjoyed our special friendship and the comparing of all too many personal notes. Lastly, I also suspect I feel a little vulnerable because this is ground I certainly never covered before. So if you have pearls of wisdom, my God, pearls of wisdom on how we figure all this out, please let me know. That's not what I thought when I first saw that on the paper. In the meantime, please sleep soundly, knowing that despite the best efforts of my head, my heart cries out for you, your voice, your body, the touch of your lips, the touch of your fingertips, and, oh Lord, an even deeper connection to your soul. They didn't write like this to all the delegates at that South American Economic Conference. Now, Maria corresponded as well in an email which may have provoked that lengthy response from the governor. She wrote on July 9th, 2008, quote, "You are my love, something hard to believe even for myself, as it's also a kind of impossible love, not only because of distance but situation." She sounds remarkably like he does in this version. "Sometimes you don't choose things, they just happen. I can't redirect my feelings, and I'm very happy with mine towards you." Bring in Christian Finnegan, comedian and commentator at large. Christian, good evening.
Hola, Keith.
That's all right. Steady. Last night I had said, look, this the Appalachian Trail story happening, that it coincided with Naked Hiking Day. It had better be true, because what on earth could be so bad that that would be a cover story? So now we know what could have been worse than that as a cover story?
Yeah, if one thing is clear, is that this is definitely Mark Sanford's first affair, because no experienced Lothario would have played it this badly. There are junior high kids trying to get to third base that have more of a plan than this guy. You know, you think you can just disappear off the face of the earth for 6 days and no one's going to care or notice? You're governor of South Carolina, not the chairman of the RNC.
Do declare Sanford is still in office despite repeated calls from his own party to resign. Term limits will keep him from running again for governor. He can still run on the Appalachian Trail.